In this video, we're going to actually set up a real physical Android device for development and testing. Now, we are talking Mac with this video. The good thing about having a Mac is that you do not need to have a separate step to set it up. In other words, you don't need to have any USB drivers to be set up for your Android device. If you're running on Windows, you will need to do that. You will need those USB drivers. So again, Windows users, please refer to the Windows section of this course, and I've actually got a video that shows you how to install those USB drivers. But if you're on a Mac, follow along, and what you'll see from this point on is the output that you will see from the Android device and how to configure that. So let's get into that right now. So in this video, I want to go through and show you how to set up your Android device for USB debugging. And basically what that means is that you plug your Android device into your computer, be it a Windows or a Mac computer, via a USB cable, and you can then use that Android device. So the steps involved are, firstly, you need to have installed the software that we've shown, or that I've shown you in previous videos. You then need to get onto your Android device and do a few things. Now firstly, if you have a look at the screenshot I've got on the screen now, you can see how it's got the option to allow USB debugging. You will get something like that once you've activated the USB setup that I'm about to show you. So you need to make sure you click on the OK button when you see that, and probably you want to click on the Always Allow from this computer. Otherwise, every time you go to set up and test, it will ask you that question on your Android device. So basically what that's just doing is telling the Android, or giving the Android device permission for the computer to send you the files. So once you see that, make sure you do click that OK and the Always Allow. But in terms of going through the setup process, let me show you what to do now. So you need to get into the setup for your computer. Now I'm on a Google Nexus 7, so I drag or swipe from the top to see my menu and click on Settings, but your Android device may be slightly different. But you will have a settings menu on the device somewhere, so make sure you click into that. You can probably get into it if you go into the setup. There'll probably be an option for setup somewhere, like settings, like you can see on the screen there now. I can click on settings and access it that way if you prefer. So basically get into your settings, scroll down to the bottom. Somewhere there should be an about device or about tablet. In my case it says about tablet because I'm on a Nexus 7 tablet. Now what you need to do is click on that, or tap it I should say, then scroll right down to the bottom and there should be a build number. You'll see a build number somewhere. Now, Android operating systems by default don't enable computers to access the developer menus because, of course, most Android devices aren't used by developers. But because you're going to be setting up your device, we want to do just that. We want to enable the development mode. So to do that, you need to basically tap the build number 7 times. Now, I know that sounds funny, but that's just the way that Android is built in to do that. Now, I'm going to do that now on my screen, but because I'm already activated, I'm going to get a message just to say that it's already enabled. So I'm going to tap that now. Now, I already tapped it 3 times. It came up and said, no need, you're already a developer. But if you haven't done this previously, you'll have to tap it 7 times, and then it will enable another menu. So once you've done that, you click on Back. You can see that there will be a menu there that says developer options. In my case, again, it was already there because I have already enabled this, but if you haven't done it before, you'll probably find that you'll now have a developer options menu somewhere. You need to click into that. And again, it may look slightly different on your Android device if you're not running a Google Nexus 7, but the concepts will be very much the same. If you've got an option to stay awake, I recommend you activate that checkbox, click that checkbox, and that just makes sure that your screen doesn't continually lock all the time. Because I find that whenever I'm testing, my screen was invariably locking itself, and it's quite frustrating having to pick it up and unlock it again. Click that if you feel that's going to be something that's useful for you. But one of the things you will have to do is make sure you've activated USB debugging. And you can see I've already got the checkbox in USB debugging, or to the right of it. Make sure you've ticked that and that is active, because without that you won't be able to basically talk to the computer at all. Once you've done that, what you'll find is that when you next connect your Android device to your computer, you should find, like if you go into Eclipse or something like that, basically when you go to access the device, you'll come up with this screenshot again, and I'll just show that on the screen for you again. So that screenshot, that screen rather, or that little dialog window, will pop up on your Android device. So again, make sure you click on the always allow and then you click OK. And that's really the last step you need to take. At that point on, your Android device should be authenticated and ready to basically be ready for use. So that's the end of this video. Take a look at the next video where we're going to go in and set up an actual application, just a test application, just to confirm that it works firstly on our emulator, but secondly that it also works on your Android device if you've got one.